Mindset shifts to be effortlessly beautiful. Okay, number one, ugliness is a mindset. Like when you really think about it, ugliness is a learned behavior. Just as you learned how to read or how to ride a bike or how to socialize, you also learn how to be ugly. That's if you're coming to this video identifying as ugly. And let me just tell you, if you feel ugly, that's not the same thing as being ugly. Let me put it this way, just because you fit the beauty standard doesn't automatically make you attractive. And likewise, just because you're unconventionally attractive doesn't mean you're ugly. This is because beauty is subjective, okay? Not everyone is going to find you beautiful, and that's a fact. Yes, there are certain things you can do to reach your full aesthetic potential, but in today's video, I'm specifically going to be talking about mindset shifts that will automatically make you more attractive. But if you're new to my channel, welcome. This is the Improvement for Imbeciles podcast, where I share ways in which I'm getting my shit together so that you can get your shit together. In today's episode, we are going to be talking about the mindset behind beauty and why beauty is actually more of a mindset than it is a physical look. And obviously, I'm not gonna bullshit you guys. Like, yes, there are the Kendall Jenners of the world. There's the Sabrina Carpenters or the Madison Beers or the many other beautiful women in the world. Women who are breathtakingly beautiful. But what if I told you that you are breathtakingly beautiful? Literally because you exist. Literally just because you are a woman. And I'm just gonna say it, I'm so tired of women downplaying successful women's accomplishments just based on the fact that they're beautiful. Like, obviously pretty privilege is a thing, so use it. Use pretty privilege. Like, you're acting like your face card declines. Bestie, what? Point number 2, embrace pretty privilege, because bestie, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're breathtaking, you're stunning. What's not clicking? Your face card does not decline. And the reason I say this is because I feel like so many women get insecure with themselves and thus project on other women who may or may not be more attractive than them, because beauty is subjective. To put it in perspective, there are people who spend thousands of dollars on plastic surgery, makeup, skincare, just to look like this aesthetic potential that we're talking about, and still aren't liked by everyone. There are people in the world who find you beautiful. Just because your face card declines at one location, like let's say, you know how Walmart doesn't take Apple Pay? Yeah, like there's so many people in the world who will find you beautiful. Bestie, why are you going to a Walmart and trying to get them to accept Apple Pay? Why? If your face card declines at one location, that doesn't mean it won't accept at many other places. My point is, I think due to the way women have been conditioned in society, we've been taught to put other women down in order to make ourselves feel better, thus resulting in the ugly behavior I was talking about at the beginning of this video. You've learned that. You've learned to put other women down because you don't feel beautiful yourself. Stop that. Okay, just because other people might have more pretty privilege doesn't mean you don't have pretty privilege. And so embrace pretty privilege, because at the end of the day, it's like we're all given different cards in this life. So play your hand. Stop getting scared about other people's hands. Like, focus on yourself and use your strengths. Which brings me into number 3. Accentuate your strengths and neutralize your weaknesses. I am so tired of the narrative that you just need to accept yourself and love the bad parts of yourself. No. Listen, that doesn't mean we can't get to a point where we accept the things about ourselves that we dislike. However, and I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, nobody actually feels great about these things, and saying accept yourself, it's not like a bad thing to say, but it's just not real advice. It's kind of like when you're like, oh my god, I hate this pimple on your face, and then someone says, but you're pretty. Like, that's not the point. I just dislike the pimple on my face. Just because I don't like a certain thing on my face doesn't mean I'm not beautiful. Two things can be true at once. I don't like this certain feature of myself, and I love myself. And if you just hate a certain feature you have about yourself, the best thing to do is to neutralize it in your own mind. One way you can actually neutralize your features you dislike about yourself is to look up a celebrity who happens to have this feature. Now, I want you to describe this person and everything you love about this celebrity. The physical features, the value they provide to the world, whatever it is. After this, I want you to highlight all of the words you use to describe this person, and that is what I want you to start saying to yourself in the mirror. Which brings me into number 4. Replace negative self-talk with neutral or positive self-talk. When you are accentuating your weaknesses or the things you just dislike about yourself aesthetically, you stop realizing the reality that you have so many other features that you can accentuate, whether that's with makeup or whether that's with the way you do your hair or the way you accessorize. Like, you have so many other ways to accentuate your strengths, even the way you talk to people or the way you make people feel. Like, those qualities of yourself are way more important than being aesthetic or, you know, fitting into some beauty standard ever has been. Something I did that really helped me get out of this negative mindset and negative self-talk is looking in the mirror and saying affirmations. And I feel like everyone always says this, like, you know, affirm to yourself that you're beautiful, but even deeper than that, on the days you're really not feeling yourself, point out things about yourself that you love. Again, accentuate your strengths, neutralize your weaknesses. Just like we put makeup on certain pimples or imperfections on our face, we can do the same thing when talking to ourselves. Like, instead of accentuating the weak points in our face, like squeezing the pimple or making it worse, we choose to focus on other things that we genuinely enjoy about ourselves. Number 5, strengthen your aura and express gratitude. If you want to be the person who walks into the room and everyone turns their head and stares at you, this is what you need to do. Stay open. Open your heart center. Be open to new experiences. What I mean by your aura is your energy. I feel like so many of us forget that as humans, we are energetic beings. If you walk into the room and you're in a bad mood, a lot of people can intuitively feel your energy. And this can be an entire video topic in of itself, but I'm gonna keep it simple for you. Express gratitude. Be grateful. I think so many of us skip over this step, but when we are in full gratitude and, you know, love of life, energetically, other people can sense that about you. They can sense that you're a positive person. They can sense that you get new opportunities in your life and they want to be around you more. They're automatically going to find you more attractive than someone who is operating out of insecurity. Even if that person, you know, fits some beauty standard or gets this procedure in order to make them look like this, you know what I mean? I can guarantee you none of that matters if your energy is trash. Like, if you are operating out of low vibration, you are just not going to get the opportunities that you truly want out of life. I believe in God and, you know, replace this with whatever spiritual belief that you have. But when you trust in God and trust that God made you exactly the way you are, you start learning how to see your insecurities not as your weakness, but as a starting point for growth. Insecurity makes you confident. And that's number 6. So the reason why I say this is because when you see your perceived insecurities as flaws or things that drag you down, it can be easy to get in your head and, you know, hate yourself because you won't feel beautiful. You will have a self-concept of being ugly. Remember when I was talking about earlier that, like, ugliness is literally a learned behavior, like it's a mindset? People who are really insecure don't like themselves. And so as a result, they always view their insecurities as something that weighs them down from being confident. An insecure person can never be a confident person, but a confident person has insecurities. The confident person just knows how to maneuver around their insecurities and doesn't allow those insecurities to stop them from doing what they want to do. Like, do we really think Beyonce allowed her insecurities of, like, oh my god, my face looks so ugly today, to get in the way of her getting on that stage and singing her heart out? No. And the thing is, that energy of her just being open to that open doors for her. Yeah, there's an aspect of pretty privilege that goes into that, but does she always feel pretty? No. Like, she made an entire song about that, talking about pretty hurts, you know, trying to fit into this beauty standard, like being able to let go of these things. Like, some people who have insecurities will go out of their way in order to meet some standard. But you wouldn't have to do that if you just unlearn the standard that you've been taught your entire life, that confidence is like basically just acting like you don't have insecurity, right? No. If you have insecurities, you can still be confident. Number 7, if you're insecure about a certain physical feature you have, stop valuing the aesthetic and start accentuating its purpose. Now, what I mean by this is, let's say you have a big nose, right? You just have never liked your nose. People have made fun of you for your nose your entire life. Instead of allowing that feeling to overwhelm you and just feeling like, well, I just want to accept my nose because I love my nose. No, like, you don't have to, like, love your nose, right? But if you literally just say, I'm so grateful for the fact that I have a nose. I know it sounds silly and I know it's like, oh my god, shut up. I just don't like the shape of my nose. But point is, you don't have to like the shape of your nose. You're supposed to breathe out of it. Like the fact that we're thinking so deep into our physical features when in reality, like we have these things because they serve a purpose, really, really helps. We get so caught up sometimes in the fact that we need to look perfect that we forget to value the fact that we have certain things. Like having a nose, being able to breathe, being able to exist is a privilege. Number 8 is to smile more and stand up straight. This is very, very simple, but if you're walking into a room and you are closing your body, people are automatically going to think you're a lot more insecure than you are. The next time you feel insecure when walking into a room, I want you to try this exercise. Take 2 minutes to breathe and tell yourself affirmations. Say one thing you're grateful for and one thing you like about yourself. Roll your shoulders back and walk in. It's so crazy how much people will actually respect you if you just walk like you respect yourself. And also recognize that even if people don't acknowledge you in the way that you want to be acknowledged, your worth isn't based on what people do or don't do or how people view you as a person. You have worth because you exist. You are inherently worthy. And remember that. I don't know, something I've been saying to myself recently is walk into every room like God sent you there. I feel like that's allowed me to face my fears a lot more in walking into spaces where I don't really feel confident or I feel really intimidated. Number 9, stay unbothered. The one thing that makes people so attracted to you is when you're not bothered by other people trying to drag you down. If you're the type of person who is in someone's comments like saying how ugly someone is and whatever, you're a loser. Like, you are a loser. You need to find other things to do with your life at the end of the day, because people who are doing things with themselves aren't spending their time hating other people. I feel like it's a mix, because sometimes you don't want to acknowledge when someone is trying to drag you down, like if it's some Instagram comment or something like that, whatever, like who cares? But if it's someone in person who is like pointing at your looks, hit them with the who asked, or like clap back at people. I'm sorry, I'm not the type of person who's just gonna tell you like keep your peace or what. Like, I mean, obviously there's nuance, but if someone is coming at you, be able to defend yourself and stand your ground, because at the end of the day, like, that is ugly behavior. Like, allow their behavior to reflect themselves. Don't be afraid to remove yourself from situations where people are trying to make you seem like a worse person than you are. Learn how to stay unbothered and smile, because when you know internally that you are beautiful with or without people's validation, you're not going to be seeking it out. Which brings me into my last point. Don't fish for compliments. You need to self-validate instead of fish for compliments. And what I mean by this is a lot of times when you're not feeling secure about yourself, all of a sudden you're like, oh my god, I'm just not that pretty today. Like, dude, what? Like, are you serious? People will automatically find you less attractive if you keep fishing for compliments and saying things and like downplaying yourself. Stop relying so much on external validation for your own self-worth and start relying on self-validation and affirmations. Essentially, self-validation is key, and if you guys would like an entire video on that, please let me know down in the comments. But with that being said, you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning in to this week's episode of the Improvement for Imbeciles podcast. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and do all the things to push me out into the algorithm. It really helps. Check out my social medias, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye, beautiful.